Hey everybody, welcome to another review from GGRC. I'm ArrrCee, and today we are reviewing Super Mario Odyssey. Now, this game I have been playing it just metric ton, a crap load of the past week since it came out last Friday. I've been having an absolute ball with this game, and I'm just gonna spell it out for you right now. My review? This is probably one of the best games I've ever played. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a great game. I haven't played a game in quite a while where I have been as into it as I have been. I guess the last game would have been Breath of the Wild when it came out earlier this year with the Switch. That game was just as good as this one, but I'm not sure which one I would give the edge to. At this moment, I feel like it's Mario because it's more recent, but... So here we are at the beginning of the game. I thought this was the best way to show it off for those of you who haven't seen it yet, and to kind of give you an idea why I think it is such a great game. We have just gotten our new cap. The cap can do all kinds of fun little things like that there. But yeah, I started a brand new game because I wanted to show off just what makes this game so special for many people. Been seeing a lot of videos pop up from different content creators and stuff on YouTube and otherwise, who are, throwing different ideas out there about, like, oh, is this game actually overrated? Or, are there all these people giving it 10 out of 10 because it's not that good? And it's not actually that good? But, I don't know. I have to disagree with that because I just feel like the game is so much fun to play. I mean, it goes back to the whole belief of Mario 64 where, like, Mario is just fun to control. And given a lot of his controls and everything are exactly the same as they were back then 20 years ago, it feels like you're playing Mario 64, but it's so refined that, like, the camera rarely is ever a problem, like it may have been in 64. The graphics, are at a much higher fidelity now. The game is, a game you can play at home or portably, and it's just so much fun. So here we are at the very beginning of the game. You could tell that... things are not so well in this hat kingdom here. Bowser has kind of sent us off of his airship, and we've landed in this really strange land where all these ghosts are wearing hats for some odd reason. We don't know much about them. They're very mysterious in that way. Talk to this guy. So you can see that the Bowser monster's minions from here, but all I can do is float helplessly and watch because he's not the hero. So you can see that our goal is to get to the top of the biggest top hat up there and wrangle whatever airship mishaps are going on up there. But for right now, we're just experimenting, throwing our cap at different things. This is one of the most satisfying things I think there is to do in the game, is throw your cap at different boxes and poles and pull them out of the ground and break them. There's just a certain satisfying feel to it. The sound feels good, the action feels good. It's just fun to do. On top of that, the hat also works in a lot of different ways. You've probably seen this in trailers or gameplay videos where you could throw the hat, hold it, and you can actually jump on it. That'll give you a boost for jumping. But the hat almost feels like an extension of Mario, which is really, really helpful. Boom. And there's little secrets all over the place. You see all these different posters that Bowser's put up, basically rubbing it in Mario's face that, like, hey, we're going to be marrying Peach, and there isn't much you could do about it. But look at this. Another secret alcove with coins. Now, you'll notice in the top left corner that you have regular coins and you have another hat emblem there. And that is because every world actually has... Whoa! That was not what I meant to do right there. Every world actually has its own currency. This is a word I'm looking for. This was the pole thing I was thinking of here. That is satisfying to do every single time. But every world, in addition to these gold coins, has its own currency. And in this world, you collect little purple hats, and you can use those to buy different things after you finish the world. So actually, we're going to press on here. I feel like that's enough stuff to talk about here. And as you can see, you can throw your hat on all kinds of different things, and it'll interact with the world. You got levers you can throw it on, it'll pull levers. You probably saw earlier I was throwing it on these lampposts, and that turns the lights on. Not that I'm sure the lights actually do anything. I was hoping turning all those on would give you a moon or something. And that's one of the great things about this game, is that experimentation and exploring is, like, greatly rewarding. Or greatly rewarded is what I should say. every time you go somewhere, you feel like you could, you know, find a way to get to a certain area. The game rewards you every single time, whether it's a little reward or something big. Whether it's a moon or some purple coins or whatever. Try throwing me at that door. So you can see the door with the hat emblem. Boom, that's how we open it. We break the lock. But yeah, you're always rewarded no matter what you do and no matter where you explore. The exploring in this very first area here, there isn't a whole lot to do until we actually finish the first boss fight. So we're actually going to move on here and jump over here. But you could even use your hat on these blocks here, which is kind of fun to do. Now you see there's like, oh, there's all kinds of rings up that way. I wonder what's up there. Well, you're going to get your first taste of the transformation here. The biggest thing that you can do in Mario with the hat is you can actually throw it onto different animals and creatures throughout all the different lands. And do this. Go through this incredibly insane and scary cutscene where Mario decides, hey, it's time to be a frog. I thought this was a very, very clever and strange thing that Nintendo came up for Mario to do. Somewhat possessing animals and creatures to do different things through the worlds. But what I like about it, and here we go, we open up our eyes the first time as the frog. And you listen closely there, you can hear Mario kind of going, ribbit, ribbit. You captured a frog. But what I like about this design decision is that it makes it so you don't need to pick up other abilities throughout the world. So you remember in Mario 64, certain areas of the castle were not accessible unless you found like the wing cap, or unless you found, you know, the metal Mario suit, or unless you hit certain blocks and that kind of thing. In this, you could do virtually everything as long as you finish, you know, destroying the first boss of whatever land you're in. So you can see right here, like, oh wow, there's no way for us to get up there, but it gives you a little clue here. Oh, here we go. And that's one of the many secrets you'll find throughout the game. Experimenting and jumping around there to find secret blocks to get up there and get more coins. There's actually something else that shows up there after you finish the boss of this world here. So you'll be returning there as the frog momentarily. But I love this little world here too. Yellow Goombas, by the way. It's the first time I've ever seen little yellow Goombas in a Mario game. But you'll return here later to get secrets and get purple coins, and I think there's a few hidden moons and that kind of thing. Littered throughout the whole game. It's nuts. Now we're just going to kind of bypass all this stuff because we don't need it just yet. But we're going to jump out of the frog for right now. You can jump out of the frog at any point you want. We're going to open this chest. And we're going to get a free King Heart there. That'll give us 3 more... health points, basically, to get hit. So instead of 3, we get the 6. A nice little upgrade. Alright, so here we are. These poles. There we go. Remember those poles from pretty much like every Mario since Super Mario World. These are used as fast travel points, so when you look at your map, you'll find that there's once we beat this first boss, in addition to this one, there'll be a couple other ones throughout this tiny little world here. And you can actually fast travel to them. And even though this is one of the smaller worlds in the game, you could see, wow, it's actually pretty large. And you know what's cool is that actually, if we wanted to, we could jump from this hat all the way to the bottom, and the world is connected. It doesn't need to load or anything. It only has to load whenever you go through a door. And in fact, you have a quest where you actually have to jump down this hat and get a moon that way, which is pretty fun. Some of our ways are blocked here, so a lot of our stuff is blocked here until we take out this first boss here. So let's get up here and get this done. And collect a bunch of coins along the way. So in this one you have these really weird rabbit characters that are introduced called the Broodals. I don't remember if they're from a past Mario game or not, but in this one they show up and they want to wreck your day. And you do end up fighting all of these at one point, or I think 2 or 3 different points throughout all the different worlds. They come back stronger every single time. This first fight isn't too big a deal from what I remember, though. Knock over the hat, jump on his head, and he's going to send these out. So here the thing to do is to try to figure out which hat he's under. And then, oop, and you don't want to be near him once he does that spinning thing there. Your very first fight's only 2 hits, believe it or not, but throughout the rest of the game, don't worry. The rule of 3s is always in effect for everybody else. Grab these coins while we can. And here's another thing you can throw your hat into. And away we go. As we head to the next town. Under the bright moon. Late title card after the first boss fight, which is pretty cool. I like that they give you a cutscene, give you a boss fight, and then they introduce, by the way, game hasn't even started yet. So here we are. This is the first real kingdom where you can actually do something in it. We travel all of these telephone poles all the way to this weird prehistoric land for some odd reason. So what ends up happening is that every world has some sort of a boss fight that you have to finish before you can move on to the next one. There's always something you got to do, whether it's, you know, collecting a certain amount of moons or destroying bosses, whatever it is. There's always something that you got to do before you can move on. So you'll talk to your ghost friend here in the hat, and he'll actually tell you, like, you know, if we, you know, there's an old airship somewhere on this land here. If we can find it, then we can get out of here. So we'll hit our first checkpoint right here. And at the very beginning, you may have seen, oh, there's actually our first purple coin. So we'll collect these. There we go. We got our first 3 purples. So the regular coins and the purple coins are actually used to buy different things throughout the world, whether they're, you know, costumes or moons or whatever they are. Here's 3 more over here. And what I like about this world, I love that we're replaying this one over again, is that you're going to get your first taste of like how these worlds are all set up and how clever they were put together. I actually really like the way they put these chain chomps together too. Oh, 3 more coins. Up to 9 already. But who's counting? Whoops. Jump that way, Mario. There we go. So we got our chain chomp here. Really like how they put them into this game. So when you control him here, look at that chain chomp with a mustache. Who doesn't like that? You actually got to fling him from here to there. And there's our first moon of the game. But of course you still got to avoid the chomp. Beautiful. Our first power moon. So now it's telling us, oh, our next quest is to head up, get the multi-moon atop the falls, where there is another brutal waiting for us with a golden chain chomp. Love that gold chain chomp. Wouldn't mind having one of those sitting on my desk here, actually. I think they're really cool. That chain chomp is just going to kind of hang there and watch us while we do this, but let's move on, shall we? So you can see in the top left, in addition to our currency, by the way, there's our ship there, but you can see that we got our first moon up there, and there's 4 in an outlined circle, a dashed circle, so you can tell that we have to collect at least 5 before we can move on to the next world. So we're going to throw the hat onto this globe. It will take our 1 moon. It's like, well, you got 1 so far. This feels so paltry considering in my other game I have over 500 moons already. Of which I think there's like 800 or 900 total moons you can get in this, which is just insane. Alright, so we got 4 more to find before we can get this hat thing moving, so let's move along. We're going to move along into doing like one of my favorite things that you can do in this game. And you'll see what that is in just a moment. More purple coins. And even more purple coins right up here. We'll grab those 3. If you look across the way, oh my god. You may have seen him in some of the trailers and gameplay videos for this game before, but yes, you can throw your hat on a T-Rex, and you could be a T-Rex. And this one just keeps sleeping. Look at the size of that thing. Now, it's interesting because he comments on the size of it. Now, you only have a limited time that you can actually use the T-Rex for, because the hat character actually tells you, hey, Cappy, I believe his name is, he tells you, you know, the guy is so big, I can't control him for long. So bigger characters, you know, you can't control for long, but there's other ones you can just control for as long as you want. But you can see, we gotta control this guy just because he's a dinosaur. But as soon as you wake him up, you find out, like, this guy can bust up some rocks. And that's why we really need him. Oh, and he can bust up some chain chomps, so keep that in mind. Boom. Take this one out too, just for good measure. Boom, and he can attack. We revealed a moon. So we just need this guy to give us a pathway through here. And we'll hit the we'll hit the checkpoint there with the dinosaur, which I think is great. Get some purple coins with him here. Let's destroy all this, because why not? It feels good. Let's see what else can we do over here. Just keep destroying these little guys. Look how awesome this guy looks. He's even got the mustache on him. Man. See, he even tells you it's too big, couldn't hold it any longer, so something to keep in mind that, hey, you know, once in a while, when you find a big guy, you're not going to be able to control him the whole time. This is something else I guess I should talk about too, is that the game does have some motion controls held within it. This one is like kind of, you whip the controller back and forth, and it does that. Rarely have I actually had to use those too much within the game. But I thought it was kind of weird that they force you to use it instead of just putting the controls for that on the controller somewhere. Because realistically, all you're doing on the front 4 face buttons, you know, you have a cap throw and a jump. And then they just repeat the cap throw and the jump on the other 2 buttons, which I just think is really weird that they didn't have a spot to put, like, you know, throwing your cap in different ways. Like, because you can actually throw it above you if you throw the controller up, and then you can do this side thing here if you whip it to the side. It took a little bit of practice to really get them working right off the bat. They don't feel super intuitive, and it's kind of weird that they make you use it throughout. But it doesn't come up all that often, to be quite fair. There's not really any time where I've been like, oh, I better throw my cap up. That's never really been a thing. Once in a while you'll find these little hieroglyphics all over the place. And when you throw your cap at them, they'll give you coins and hearts and all kinds of different little prizes like that. You'll find Cap Peach, and you'll find, you know, different versions of Luigi and Mario and stuff like that all throughout the area. One of the other clever things I wanted to point out here before I take over this chain chomp is if you look at the stone areas there, the fossils that are in the stone are actually little 8-bit characters, which I thought was super clever. You know, you can see a bullet bill and a little spiny guy in there. Look at those. Those are really funny. There's a Goomba. I thought that was really clever. Whoever came up with that should get a raise. That's for sure. And this is also one of my other big favorite parts of the game here. You go in through the tube. Oh man! And everything's 8-bit. It's so cool. Love this effect. Very, very clever. It's actually taking a page out of the Legend of Zelda game that was on the 3DS. The, what was the name of it? Link Between Two Worlds, I believe. You know, he would flatten himself and go on the wall for you to find secrets and stuff. Speaking of secrets, look at this little one. I'll let you guys have that one for free. Come to think of it, I didn't go back and get that other one that I broke open with the T-Rex. There we go. Get some more coins, because why not? So what's really cool about this game is that when you initially go into the world, there are moons and stuff for you to collect, but very few of them are available for you. The world actually expands twice. It expands the first time once you destroy the boss that's at the top of the level. And actually some levels that have 2 bosses. Something to keep in mind there. But it expands once again after you beat the game. Oop. We actually want to get one of you guys. One of you's got to run out of the way. There we go. So that way the other... There we go. Can hit the rocks there. But once you finish the game, there's actually another way to expand every single world and get even more moons. So, considering how much there is to do in this game, and how long it'll probably take you to find everything, there's a good, lengthy campaign to this game here. And for people who are waiting for... You can see the moons hanging off her necklace there. That's what we're looking for. But for people who are really anxious for a new Mario game, this is something that I think they're gonna... It's really gonna, you know, pay off waiting all these years for, like, a new, legitimate 3D Mario game. Oop, gotta get away. Then we want to take this one over. There we go. Whenever a creature is wearing a hat, you want to make sure you gotta knock that hat off first. And she's gonna be really, really mad here and come after us. Oh. Chain Chomp's got his hat back, though. Take it over. There we go. Oh, she's gonna come chasing us first. There we go. Like I said, rule of 3 in effect. Boom. It's a good shot there. And we'll grab this gigantic moon piece here, which will give us the rest of the moons that we actually need for this world. Before we can move on, obviously. So now we're going to get our ship moving. We're going to power it up here. There we go. We add these 4 to the bucket. We power up the sails. Chain Chomp looks really surprised back there that we were able to do it. It's like, what have you done? There we go. A brand new improved hat ship. The Odyssey, if you want to be specific about it. So this is telling us, like, hey, we got a new land you can actually go to. So from here, you can see we only have these 3 to select from. So we can actually go back to the Cap Kingdom if we want. We can continue dominating the Cascade Kingdom, or we can move on to something new with the Sand Kingdom. We're actually going to hit B, and we're going to stick in the Cascade Kingdom here just a little longer, just so I can show you all the different things we can do once a world opens up here. Let's get away from that Chain Chomp there. So we're going to run up here. Oh, here's a little parrot, by the way. So this little parrot guy, when you talk to him, he'll actually give you a hint as to where there could be a moon hiding. So he says, you have a clue across the floating isles. Now, whenever you talk to him, you actually hit the map button on your controller. You can see your map. And this is one of the most clever things I think they did with this game, is they made every map look like a travel brochure. And they tell you the name of it in the top left area here. You know, it tells you how long it's been here, what the population is, you know. And then it actually gives you different things that you should be looking at, different attractions and landmarks, which I thought was really, really cool. But if you hit Y, you can look at the list of all the things that you have to do. So you can see that there's actually 50 purple coins we got to collect in this one. The smaller worlds usually have 50, and the big ones have 100. And then there are 25 moons to find. So we've gotten 5 of them. You can see the one that the parrot just gave us a clue on is number 8. And we have all of these left to get. And this expands again after you finish the game. So there's quite a bit to do even in these smaller kingdoms here. And you get rewarded with moons and coins just for doing like little things like exploring. We're going to run over here and grab this moon real quick. So we got this one for busting a hole in the wall there. I'll show you another one that I think is really great. If you actually explore back here, behind the rock, you see, oh, there's a tube and some purple coins. So this time we're rewarded twice. You can actually use your hat to pick these up, which is handy. Let's go in the tube. See what we got in here. This was actually one of my favorite tube minigame things that's in the game here. So you got these chain chomps, and you can see that there's a target back there. Your whole goal is you want to try to hit these guys into the targets. Oh, here we go. We got another one. This one we actually got to off angle it just a teeny bit. Way off. We'll try again. Let's try about there. There we go. Opening the way. Okay, this is probably the more complicated one here. Boom. Nailed it first try, though. Getting pretty good at this. So we're going to go into this area here. Now, the one tip that I will give you guys when you're watching this is that most of these underground areas have 2 to 3 different moons in here. And this one, I had the clue that there was another moon in here somewhere, and I could not find it. So I'm going to give you a little secret here during the review video. So if you jump up here, oh, there was another secret little alcove here that I kept missing. And there's one more really tough chain chomp combo hit thing here you gotta do. Chain chomp pool, maybe we can call it. You gotta hit them at such a way. Nope, that's not quite right. Let's try right there. There we go, nailed it. For that tough one, we get a moon just for that. So that's 2 moons just in one underground area. So you can see how these moons really add up as you're playing through the game. Alright, let's go keep exploring here. Go sneak behind the chain chomps here. You could see with this guy, there's actually another target right here. Oh, and that dumps out a bunch of coins for us to collect. Oh, some more purple coins up over here. Try to make this jump. There we go. Boom. We made it. Now, the other thing that happens, too, is when you expand the universe, so sometimes you'll come back to things and there'll be ways to get moons out of the same areas. Like, as you finish the game, there is another moon that you can get out of this 8-bit little area here, too. So you always want to return to where you are. And if you look up, you can see, oh man, there's a moon way up on a platform up there. I racked my brain trying to get up to that, and I could not figure it out. Come to find out, I'm not going to spoil it for you here, there's nothing you could do about it in this world. That's the only clue I'll give you. Grab another moon. It's probably one of the easiest ones you can grab right there. Now, one of the other things you could do here, too, is you can actually pay this guy 50 coins to try to help you find another moon as well. And then this thing here, this little amiibo thing, you can scan your amiibos and get new costumes and more hints as to where to find other moons and everything. One of the things I want to say that I've done with Breath of the Wild, and I did with this game this year, was that I completely tried to avoid any kind of, FAQs or any kind of... oh, there's some purple coins down here. But I've tried to really avoid any of that stuff when playing this game, and it's been so rewarding. Everything I've done in this game so far, finding all of the moons and everything, has been because I went out of my way to search it out. And what's great about it is that there's so much to do that if you feel like you're getting frustrated or you can't find something else, you can just go to another world and there's always something for you to do there, and you can come back to it later. You throw your hat on these little scarecrow guys, and he's going to unlock these little platform puzzles for you to find different moons and stuff like that. This is probably the easiest one in the game. These do get very, very hard as you got to be quick. Oh, we found a chest under here too. Another moon. So in this area, you can see how condensed it is, but how much they crammed into it. There were purple coins under there. There's a scarecrow right over here that led to a moon, that led to a chest under there with a moon. And before we walked onto this platform, there was a moon on that rock. And if you follow here, under the waterfall, you see there's a few more purple coins. And there's an empty picture frame. I wonder why. Which is another thing that will come in handy later for you. But that just gives you a great example of like how much they packed this area with stuff to do. It's great. I love it. Here we go. Got another tube to go through here. This one puts us right up here. We'll grab another moon. And we get another checkpoint right there, which you can use to fast travel to. Oop, here we go. Look at that. More purple coins and another hat room here. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, we got a sleeping T-Rex. Another one. This actually might be one of my favorite things to do in the game here. Oops, fell right into one of those spiky guys. We take over the T-Rex, and believe it or not, his whole job here is to just destroy these stupid little spiky things. As soon as you destroy all these things, you'll get your moon. But they are everywhere, and if you miss one, you won't get your moon. I haven't tried it. I don't know if you can, but you might actually even be able to destroy these things just as Mario. Look at that, the gigantic gigantic trampoline for him to jump up. Love that. There's still one that I missed over here. I was like, I think I got everybody, but apparently I did not. Oh, the time is ticking. There we go. We got everybody right there. And we get a moon. But, because of the rule I told you, the rule of, you know, there being 2 or 3 moons within every little area you go to. I'll give you guys another secret for this world here real quick. And maybe something down here. Not saying there is. And there's another one. As it runs away up there. This is where you get to use the trampoline. Again! Who doesn't want to use a trampoline as a dinosaur, am I right? There you go. Alright, so we're going to make our way back here as Mario. I want to show you guys the next world real quick. And then I might jump onto my main game just to give you an idea how much is actually in the game. Trying not to spoil too much for you if you haven't gotten the game yet and you just want to, you know, play this once you get it. Because that's how it was for me. I tried to avoid as much about it as I could. I watched a few gameplay trailers, gameplay videos and trailers and stuff, but I really just wanted to enjoy this game as it was. And it's really paid off. I think not looking at the FAQs and guides and stuff like that and how to find stuff and just leaving it up to myself to find it. It's been so much more rewarding and so much more fun. Because the game, it really does reward you for every little thing that you're doing. It's I was actually explaining it to my wife in a way that it's like, you know, it's the ultimate distraction game in that, like, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get this moon and then I'm gonna pause it and go do some other stuff for the day, and then like before you know it, you collected that moon, but then you also went to an alcove and collected some purple coins, and then climbed up a tree to get another moon, and then before you know it, it's been another half hour, you know. So such a great game. Between this one and Breath of the Wild this year, it's going to be really hard for other games to get to the point where, you know, they're going to work up into my you know, top 3 Game of the Year status, because those two, I mean, are really high up there for me ranking this year. Alright, let's go check out the Sand Kingdom here. Here we go, taking off for the first time to a new world. Exciting. And Mario's got a new captain's hat. Check that out. I love this shot here. When you're going to a new world, they show Mario kind of looking out the window with Cappy. He's, no matter what world you're going to, he's always excited and really raring to go. So, how do you like me as a captain's hat? Pretty classy, wouldn't you say? So during the loading scene here, you always get a little chat with Cappy while they're having tea. And then, while they're having tea, he'll go over, like, these are things that you can do in the level. Here's some skills and stuff. And there's actually a built-in manual that you can put that you can pull up in the game that'll tell you all your moves and everything that you can do. And this is it right here. You can pull this up at any time in the options. I haven't had to use it too often, to be quite honest. I think that's more for like new players. But I could see how it would be super, helpful for somebody who's brand new to the Mario franchise, which is just crazy to think about in my mind, considering how long I've been playing Mario games. But basically, I might have skipped over it there while I was talking. But Bowser is heading here to go into the pyramid and find this new treasure, and the treasure is a wedding band because he's trying to marry Peach. So you can't marry somebody without a wedding ring, right? And here we are at the Sand Kingdom. Now that your objective is always marked by a big rainbow line up in the sky, so you can see right up there. That's where we're trying to get to, atop the highest tower. But we're in this really, really colorful yet strange, like, icy desert area, which is pretty cool. So something Bowser did has affected the area. It's made it really, really cold, so ice has been growing in a desert, which is crazy to think about. But here we go. Here's some purple coins immediately, leading to town here. We got all these great, like, little mariachi, like Day of the Dead type skull characters. Love these little characters, they're great. They're so Nintendo. Okay, we got a few more purple coins here. And you see the ice is actually impacting all of the civilians here too. You'll see that there's certain things you cannot access because of the ice. So I wonder if there's a way for us to get rid of that ice. Now we're going to go into the shop here. Now this shop is actually the place where you can spend a lot of your coins. Now, let's go to the place that this guy here. This is the guy where we can actually buy regular stuff with regular coins from. And you can see, oh, we can actually buy our first moon from him here. So let's do it. Very nice. I also love that there's like a realistic like Nintendog little guy hanging over here. He actually comes into play later in the game, too. He helps you out. We'll buy our first custom outfit here. What do you say? We'll buy the Crazy Cap outfit. And as you can see, you have the option of buying the polka-dotted swim trunks or boxers there, which everybody was going crazy for over the internet when they showed that Mario actually has nipples. Who would have thought? There you go. Mario in a brand new swanky outfit for advertising for Crazy Cap. Now, we only have 5 purple coins, but I think it's important that we buy the sombrero today and put that on. We're going to look like some kind of a strange, like, Mexican businessman or something. I wear a sombrero, so I'm just like you, but I wear this flashy business suit because I'm trying to sell you something. Like an energy drink salesman or something. Look at this guy. And as you can tell in this world, there's even more to do, because in this one, if we take a look at the map, it says you could select any checkpoint flag, get activated, and fly straight to it. That's your fast travel. So we can actually go between the ship and the first one we've gotten here. And the finger points to where we got to go. We have our landmarks. We have a little bit of information about the Sand Kingdom here. In our list, as you can see, we have 69 of these to collect. More so once we beat the game. So you can see, wow, there are a ton of moons all throughout this area here. But there's also 100 purple coins to collect. And I can tell you that I have not uncovered all of the areas in my main game, because I still think I have around in the teens, like 18 maybe, purple coins to find. So there's still some area of this world that I have not discovered yet. So even that many hours into the game, which I would say probably, if I had to estimate, I probably put 15 hours or so in the game. It's got to be more, though. Maybe 15 to 20. But you could just tell these worlds are vast. There's so much to do here. I think what we'll do is we'll run up to this next... oh, look, Bowser's footprints. You can see his footprints in the sand here as they disappear. More yellow Goombas. But yeah, I think we'll jump up here to the checkpoint. Oh, jeez. I just walked right into him there. And I think we'll save it there. And I think I'm going to show you a couple things on my main Mario save. So let's save it. And let's go to options. Now, the save system in Mario is a bit strange. I actually did a video on this already if you aren't sure how it works and everything. But it works more almost like a PC game, like, you know, like a old PC FPS game from the 90s, where you can pick and choose between your games at will and just start one. Actually, right now, in the load menu, if we were to just hit, you know, file 3, 4, 5 here, it would start a brand new game for us automatically. We wouldn't have to restart the game and start from scratch or anything like that. But here's my main file here. You can see I have 511 power moons altogether. Looks pretty intense compared to the paltry 14 here. But we're in the Luncheon Kingdom, a kingdom that is completely dedicated to food. And that's what all your quests revolve around in, is like finding food and adding food to different soups and that kind of thing. And you even get to get like a crazy lava character that you can throw your hat onto, and you can travel through the really hot, sticky taffy stuff that's laid around all over the place here. But you can see this is Mario here. He's got the cool gold hat. And I got like a cool safari outfit here. There's so many different outfits to pick from. I'll show these off, but I really don't want to show them all off because I'd rather you guys be a little bit more surprised with what's going on. There's a fireball bro over there. You know, you could take that guy over as well. And you can see I have to head that way to the rainbow marker because we got to head up to that big pot up there, and we have to take care of some business up there. I don't want to spoil it all for you. Here, there you go. Get a coin there. But let me jump into the map select area here, just so you can get an idea how big the game is and how many areas you actually have to pick from. So you can see here, the game is actually pretty large. You have our Cap Kingdom where we started, the Cascade Kingdom, the Sand Kingdom. Those are the only three we have in our new game. But look at all these other ones, and they are great. Every map I've had a ton of fun with, and there's a ton of stuff to do in them. Metro Kingdom, New Donk City, as people were... they knew about it during E3 and everything. It is here. Seaside Kingdom had a lot of fun in that one too. But there are a lot of great kingdoms here, a lot of stuff to do. And I'm in the position right now where I'm deciding whether I want to try to collect all of the moons or not. I'm not really sure if I want to. Like, I'm having a ton of fun with the game, but I don't want it to get to that point where I'm super frustrated with it because I can't find something. But I haven't gotten to that point yet, and I'm already, between 15, 20 hours into the game. So I'm having a ton of fun just with everything. There are a few little things that I notice about the game, and that's mostly just because I'm, I guess more familiar with these things than maybe newer gamers might be. But one of the reasons, this game runs at 60 FPS, so it runs great, and I prefer the performance to the quality. But you could tell... that the way that they cheesed a little bit of that is they really kill the draw distance on things at times. Like if you run far enough away here, you were just seeing a second ago there, you can see the fireball bro, the fire bro was like disappearing. If we walk just a little further closer, there we go, you can see he pops in. Even the little mounds disappear. So they're doing like a draw distance thing to fix that, and that's because the Switch is, you know, it's powerful, but it's not super powerful. It's no Xbox One or PS4, unfortunately. On top of that, there's also a few other graphical things you could tell with the game. Like Mario, you could tell is a high-res model, and he looks great. But you can tell, like, with some of the other models in the game here, like if you look at the structure right here to my right, the colors in it aren't super dazzling. Don't get me wrong, it's a very bright and vibrant game. But it looks like they saved a lot of their processing power for showing the world as big as it is. Like you can make out that there's a gigantic pot up there, but when you get further enough away, the pot is still there, but the fire bro is gone. So they're showing the important things that they need to show. But that you know, they're cutting corners for processing power, and it just it was something that stood out to me while I was playing. It doesn't really hinder the game at all, in my opinion. I'm still having a great time with it. Don't want to fall in there. That's instant death. I'll show you another thing you could use with your hat to fling you up to different areas here. But there are a couple little graphical things like that, I think. I don't know if it's like really a detriment, but it's just something that I noticed because of you know, the history I have with games and knowing how that stuff works. I don't think most people are even going to really notice it, to be quite honest. But yeah, I mean, to end my review and playthrough here, I'm just having an absolute ball with this game. Like I said, 500 moons in, and I'm still just like super into it. Deciding how far I want to go with it, whether I want to get every moon or not. And, you know, I haven't had a game like that since Breath of the Wild, and both games happen to be first-party Nintendo games that came out this year, which I think is saying something big for what Nintendo has been doing lately with their games and their new Switch system. But there you have it. You know, my thoughts on this game, love it. I think it's definitely worth checking out. I would say that believe the hype. All those reviews that are giving it 10 out of 10 or 9 something out of 10, believe it, because it's great. When Mario 3D World came out, I thought it was a decent game. I had a lot of fun with it. But when I finished it, I had no desire to keep playing it. This game is a game where I finished it, I've gotten 500 something moons, and I want to start a new game and do it again. And that's saying something for, you know, this day and age when there's so many games to pick from, you know. But there you go, that is Super Mario Odyssey. I absolutely love it. Huge contender for Game of the Year for me. And I'm glad that Nintendo is making games like this again, like Breath of the Wild and this, because it really shows their, you know, dedication to actually create games that gamers want nowadays. So this is definitely a game that I think anybody would have a ton of fun with, even if you're not really into Mario games. But there you go, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to check out some of the other GGRC episodes. And if you're feeling a little retro, why not jump into the Quake grave, where you can watch me play through a lot of different custom maps in Quake. Enjoy!